Bom dia, pessoal. São 7 horas da manhã agora. Estamos chegando aqui no Terminal Novo Rio. A viagem de Belo Horizonte até o Rio de Janeiro transcorreu muito bem, graças a Deus. E agora a gente vai desembarcar aqui no Terminal Novo Rio. Vamos até o aeroporto do Galeão. E de lá a gente embarca para o Porta-Aviões George Washington. A primeira parte, que é chegar no Rio de Janeiro bem, está cumprida. Agora vamos a bordo do Porta-Aviões da Marinha dos Estados Unidos. Bom dia para todos aí, missão segue, hein?
Bom dia para todo mundo. Estamos entrando aqui na base aérea do Galeão. Estamos indo lá para o segundo de segundo GT. E lá começa a missão George Washington, hein? Típico amanhecer numa base aérea da Força Aérea Brasileira. A moçada chegando para o expediente. A relação é garantida, isso aí vocês podem ter certeza.
Bom dia, bem-vindo. I hope I got that right. The aircraft carrier is not as close as we expected it to be today, so the flight will take a little longer, so we're going to have to leave earlier. And so we're going to go ahead with our brief, and we're going to go through it quickly, and then get you on the plane.
O nosso porta-aviões não está tão perto quanto nós imaginávamos que estivesse, então o voo vai ter um pouquinho mais de duração e em função disso nós estamos adiantando o briefing e falamos de uma forma um pouco mais rápida para que não percamos a horário de decolagem.
Okay. On behalf of Rear Admiral George Balance, Commander of U.S. Naval Forces South and U.S. 4th Fleet, we want to thank you for taking the time to spend with us today.
Em nome do comandante das Forças do Sul, ele agradece a presença de todos por estarem aqui conosco hoje.
I am Lieutenant Commander Tom Bordo, and I work with 4th Fleet.
É o Tenente Coronel Tom Bordo e trabalha com a 4ª Frota, que é o que está prestando apoio na operação.
Okay. We are here because of this exercise called Unidos. It is the 56th iteration of this exercise. And we are very proud and thankful to Brazil for hosting it this year.
O exercício Unidos que estamos realizando hoje é o 56º evento dessa natureza e ele agradece muito ao Brasil por estar nos recebendo e nos apoiando nesse momento.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Unidos is a multinational exercise and it is focused on, as you can see, high-tech surface, air, amphibious, and undersea naval training exercises. Go ahead. Don't get too far ahead of me.
O foco do exercício Unidos é o treinamento conjunto com a Força Aérea e a Marinha Americana na utilização de armamentos mais avançados e equipamentos em desenvolvimento para treinamento e utilização futura.
As you can see in the photo here, you have different nations flying in formation along with the George Washington. And this is what is taking place out off the coast of Brazil currently.
Então, na foto nós podemos ver a nave de vários países, que é o que está sendo feito no Porta-Aviões George Washington e é o objetivo da manobra.
Okay. All right, so the George Washington, which you will be going to, who's been to an aircraft carrier before? Okay, so quite a few of you guys. So you know that the George Washington is one of 10 aircraft carriers in the U.S. fleet. It was completed in 1992, and it is en route to Virginia for its midlife refueling.
Então, o Porta-Aviões George Washington foi construído em 1992. Ele é integrante dos 10 porta-aviões americanos e ele está no meio de caminho, retornando para Virgínia, para poder fazer manutenção e reabastecimento.
As you can see, by the statistics, it's muito grande. What I want you to pay particular attention to are these numbers right here. You have 5,000 officers and sailors on board that ship, which essentially makes it a floating city.
Então, ele chama atenção para o dado com relação ao pessoal a bordo do navio. São 5.000 tripulantes e pode ser considerado uma cidade flutuante.
Okay. All right, let's go on to the next slide. So as you go out today, some of the aircraft that you're going to see, you'll see the FA-18 ENF Super Hornets. which have been in the fleet about 12 years now, as well as the Hornet, the older variant of the F-18.
Então, algumas das aeronaves que os senhores visualizarão no porta-aviões são o F-18 Echo e Fox, que são os Super Hornets, já estão embarcados no navio há 12 anos, e a versão mais antiga deles, que é o Alpha e Delta, são os Hornets, que também já estão lá um pouco mais de fora. Se apresentou, não peguei a bandeira, Charlie, ele é um dos pilotos que vai estar no C2 hoje e vai fazer a apresentação rápida da aeronave para que os senhores tenham conhecimento sobre o avião. Daqui a pouco.
Safety brief for this aircraft day. I have two items here. This is going to be the general items, safety items we're going to issue today for the flight.
Vai fazer o briefing dos equipamentos de segurança, que são esses dois equipamentos aqui que ele está mostrando.
We're going to start off with your flotation device, which is also known as like horse collar. Basically, either way, doesn't matter, front, back, it's all the same, goes over the head.
Então, esse é o horse collar que ele está mostrando. Ele falou que não tem diferença de lado, pode ser posto de ambos os lados, são iguais.
You're going to go ahead and unwrap all this. It's going to go around the waist and buckle in front of you.
Então, apenas desenrolar a corda, clipar na frente e
And then go ahead and just zip it on up. Basic operation of this is in the event of any kind of emergency day, you're going to go ahead and take these bead handles and pull them straight out in front of you. It's going to inflate the horse collar around your neck.
Então, em qualquer emergência, a única coisa que tem que fazer ali é puxar as duas cordinhas para frente e vai inflar o colete salva-vidas do senhor.
If for some reason it did not inflate, you would just simply pull the Velcro hood on the sides. There's a little valve inside there. You put it around, just pull it up and inflate it. Once again, it'll inflate around you.
Se a inflagem automática não funcionar, tem um véu para ele na lateral, nós podemos abri-lo e há uma válvula para soprar e inflagem manual.
Basically, we're going to ask you to wear this for all aspects of flight today. So you'll put it on here, walk to the plane, leave it on, zipped up, buckled throughout the entire flight, and as you disembark the aircraft on the ship today.
Eles solicitam que os senhores já vistam o equipamento aqui e já se direcionem para a aeronave vestidos com o equipamento e permaneçam com ele vestido a bordo todo o tempo, para que não abram nem o zíper, para permanecer fechado todo o tempo.
After this landing too?
Yes, absolutely. All the time. Once you get down below deck, they will collect it. Yeah, this is a little bit different. This one's going to be a little bit different, but I'm just talking about the flotation.
Okay.
For this, it's standard issue cranial. It's just basically protect your head. We have low ceilings to make sure you don't hit anything. Also, you have goggles on here to protect your eyes from any kind of prop wash or anything that's going on the aircraft here.
É um capacete comum apenas para proteção da parte da cabeça e da testa e tem um óculos para que não, um visor ali, um Google, para que o vento da hélice não dá poeira nem nada nos olhos dos senhores.
To put on, just simply pull the hood, goes over the head, goes down. You know how the strap goes underneath to the D-ring and back on top of itself.
E para colocar é bem simples, apenas abra a parte do ouvido, coloque de cima para baixo e tem um ajuste do maxilar para que fique bem ajustado na cabeça do senhor.
For this item, we ask you just wear it going to the aircraft and disembarking the aircraft. Once you get on board, you'll see us kind of and we start walking around on the aircraft after takeoff. Feel free to take it off, get a little bit more comfortable. Like Lieutenant said, it's going to be about a 2-hour flight today.
Então, o capacete é solicitado apenas agora. Após o embarque na aeronave, é autorizado que retire, porém, para desembarcar no porta-aviões, eles vão pedir que coloque de novo por segurança para que não bata a cabeça em nada no avião.
As far as your safety equipment on board the aircraft, you have a 4-point harness. Once you get down, go and just buckle around the waist, tighten down the seatbelt, take the straps, pull them down, and buckle them in, tighten them down as well. We will come through and check all your seatbelts, make sure everybody's good to go before we take off today.
Os equipamentos de segurança a bordo constam de um cinto de 4 pontos. Eles solicitam que todos coloquem, ajustem bem e, após ajustado, retirem o capacete. E quando todos terminarem, ele vai fazer uma inspeção em todos para ver se todos estão bem equipados. Aí, e a de 4 pontos, de baixo. Ok, para quem não conhece, o de 4 pontos são 2 cintos abdominais e 2 de ombro. Eles têm o mesmo ponto de conexão.
Once you get on the aircraft, the aircrew on board will also go through another brief, kind of showing you the emergency exits, egress on the aircraft. just like any commercial airliners. Are there any questions about any of our gear, any procedures as far as safety go for the aircraft today?
A bordo da aeronave, os procedimentos particulares de segurança vão ser passados a bordo, como é feito em qualquer empresa comercial, e ele pergunta se alguém tem alguma dúvida ou questionamento sobre esse equipamento aqui que ele demonstrou. Soldado, só.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Entendeu? E aí? Bom, senhores, bom dia. Esses dois figuras que vocês estão vendo na imagem aí, vocês podem se apresentar, viu, gente? Pode falar, é filmado, né? Pereira. Esses são dois malucos da turma de maluco que está indo para missão hoje a bordo do George Washington. Olha a camiseta do Vinícius, tipo assim, será que ele está mandando alguma mensagem?
Vai começar a missão a bordo do George Washington. A gente está aqui agora equipado. E daqui a instantes a gente vai embarcar na aeronave para nos transportar, que é aquela lá, ó. Aí, nosso amigo Humberto, nosso amigo Padilha, Ricardo, galera toda reunida. É isso aí, moçada. Agora está aqui no Parque Internacional da Base Aérea do Galeão. Estamos nos dirigindo para as duas aeronaves que vão fazer o nosso transporte até o Porta-Aviões mais forte. Olha aí.
One last thing, I noticed I've seen some expensive cameras.
Praça d'Armas do Porta-Aviões George Washington da Marinha dos Estados Unidos, hein, galera? Já chegamos. Sobrevivemos à pancada do pouso. Padilha, o que você achou do pouso?
Muito simples. Achei que era um crash violento. Foi punk.
Caiu. Muito goiaba. Gostei. Quero fazer de novo.
Ó, Padilha não tá tirando onda não. Eu achava que era muito pior. É uma pancada seca e você fica esperando mais alguma coisa depois da pancada seca, acabou. É só pancada seca e morreu. Isso porque pegou o gancho, claro, né?
Come agora,
eu vou
porque hoje não tem almoço.
We expect to get to orbit before Christmas in December, which is a morale booster for our people. And along the way, this is our major exercise in the Atlantic before we do that. Okay. Would you like to? I'm not sure if you'd like to just have questions here or do one or.
Yeah, I think if you have any questions, I can.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Agora a gente está indo pro Flight Deck para ver as operações aéreas aqui no Porta-Aviões George Washington. Vamos lá, emoção.
Vamos derrar muito.
Yeah, it was 3.5 hours of rest. Yeah, it would be longer.
All the budget cuts, everything we've gone through in the Marinha. And then of course a couple months later we had no problem. And then we had all the money we could never want. That's right, yeah. Everybody was but it people have to care I mean, it's a game changer. In my civilian job, I worked with people who supply the commissary. So, kind of methods in my math.
Isso aí, moçada, a bordo do Porta-Aviões George Washington da Marinha dos Estados Unidos, no litoral do Brasil, novembro de 2015, hein? Estamos aguardando agora o pouso de 2 helicópteros Seahawk que estão fazendo aproximação aqui no convoo do George Washington. Vamos lá.
Heads up all the way to a landing 610 spot 4703.
Plane 1415 for the recovery, regular on-time recovery.
Sir, 1415 recovery. So what you have in front of you is a 2-scale map of what's going on out there on the deck. When you walked in, you recovered on this airplane. You did a little turnaround deal here, and you went, parked right about there, and you hopped out and went on in the island there. So that's kind of what we did with your airplane when we did it. Cobb last, please.
hot last. Aye.
So we go off of real-time data in here. The person that you saw that had that headset on a little while ago was wired into a person that's about three levels above us. Up there they got a camera that they look out, and there's somebody that talking together over that sound-powered phone circuit. And if you look at the TV behind you there, that's where they're sitting at. That's the camera space that they work at. And with all of these templates, they're all two size. So yeah, it's 2015, and I still get to play with toys here with this kind of thing. So my life is happy. Some of the younger folks want to go ahead and digitize this whole thing, right? You know, it's 2015. Let's go ahead and catch up with the times here and digitize it all. But as an old guy, I kind of like to read a book with pages in it instead of reading on a Kindle, right? So it's archaic, but it still works. So why would we break something that works just fine? As we go through the flight plan, we get through a cyclic operations where we start with a couple of launches and go through with a recovery. So this is constantly moving. There's constantly a flow of information that comes through here. The only way that I can get the information required to be able to execute the plan is some of the other watch stations inside of flight deck control. So as you can see here, I have a maintenance liaison that works with the air wing. He's reporting in status of all the aircraft. And I'd like to just draw your attention to some of these little pins and needles and how these little templates work. All of these mean something to us because there's real-time issues that go with the airplanes. So the decisions that we have to make are pretty short-fused. So without having the information out of the maintenance of the aircraft and out of the air wing, we can't necessarily support to get the launch off when we need to on time. So the pinology is set up to where there's each one of these little pins and needles means something. You have washers and jacks and low power turns, high power turns, all kinds of different meanings of all those aircraft and the pins that work together there. So there's a map also downstairs of the hangar bay. Inside of the hangar bay we have 4 aircraft elevators on the deck in the bay. So the idea is a lot of the phase maintenance and a lot of the maintenance actions that can't happen up on the deck we'll do downstairs. So the overhead of the hangar deck is 25 feet tall, so you have about a 2.5-story building in there. So we can fit roughly 20-25 planes down there, roughly 40-45 up here. So we get to where we try to continually flow the aircraft to keep the area clear. So we have 4 aircraft catapults, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You were able to walk out on the deck. You went forward, watched a couple aircraft launch, then you came back and you watched one launch off of here. We also have the 4 wires. We start aft working forward, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The idea is the pilots target the 3-wire. The idea is the ship is moving forward into the wind. It's not necessarily the steam out of the catapult that gets the aircraft up in the air. The idea is the wings, the lift provided by the winds is what actually picks the aircraft up off of the deck and launches it. All the catapult does is give it an initial shock. So behind the ship as we're going with 25 knots of wind across the deck. Sorry, excuse me. Yes, sir.
Anyone on 210?
Nothing yet. So behind the fan tail of the ship, there's a bubble. So we don't target the 1-wire. A lot of people sometimes will ask, why doesn't the pilot target the 1-wire? Well, there's a couple of different reasons why. Off to the port side of the ship is the Fresnel lens, which is the ball, what we commonly refer to, and it's working off of pitch and altitude of the aircraft. So as the pilots are landing, they're looking at the ball. So as you ride a bicycle or you drive a car, where you look at is where you tend to go. So the same idea works with the pilots. As they're coming into land, they're looking at the ball, so they tend to go left a little bit. So if they go left too short, well, then we have stuff over here to crash into, which the idea is let's land, let's not crash, right? So we target a little far forward of that because that bubble, the wind bubble, if you think about how a river flows and eddies pour off to the side, that wind bubble will actually suck the airplane down. So we target forward of the fantail because, again, we don't want to suck the aircraft down into the hangar bay because it's hard to land in the hangar bay, right? We like to land on the flight deck up here. So as they approach at 3/4 of a mile,
the ball initially sucks them down, and then it burps them right back up. So as the pilot comes in, he goes down, and he slams down and hits the deck. So you have about 300 feet here. You go from 150 miles an hour to 0 in about 300 feet. Same idea is you've started here in 300 feet, 0 to about 150 miles an hour. So as you leave the ship, I hope that you make sure that your belts are real tight and snug, because if not, you're going to know it real quick. Okay? So I work in conjunction with also the fuels rep that's on board. Fuels goes down to the 7th deck and reaches up to the flight deck level. So we have roughly about 3 million gallons of fuel on board. So if your truck or car needs any gas, we have roughly 3 million gallons that run around here. The ABEs, the Aviation Bosun Made Equipment Men, are the folks that have the green jerseys on, and they work on the catapults and the arresting gears. This red and white line, this red and white line is what we affectionately call the foul line. That separates the safe parking area from the landing area. So the idea is you don't want to be on the wrong side of the line when the airplane comes to crash on you, because 42,000 pounds versus a strapping young 165 pounds would, the airplane is going to win. So we tend to keep folks out of the way of that. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? No? All righty. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you coming out.
Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, our next stop will...
Blue Park.
We made strong recommendations.
Definitely is the starways to heaven.
San Diego, but I don't know where she's at now.
Pode deixar. Tá devagar, quem chega lá.
Mais um lance?
Mais 3 lances.
Opa, tá ficando divertido esse negócio, hein? Cara, pra um gordo eu tô até bem, viu?
Okay.
Pretty incredible, huh?
Yeah, we're going to be going downstairs. Thank you.
Would you like to walk around, take pictures? If you like to get pictures of the helm, you're welcome to do something there.
Safety navigation of the ship, making sure that we have the right
Ponte de comando do Porta-Aviões nuclear CVN-73 George Washington, Marinha dos Estados Unidos. Novembro de 2015, litoral do Brasil.
So as long as the green dot is somewhere in the blue or the top of the purple, we're good.
Thanks for your help with this, guys.
No problem at all.
These guys.
No problem at all. Anytime you need.
Appreciate it.
We're here. phone.
Where in Missouri are you from?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Peguei.
About 3 months.
Só eu que não peguei. Eu que fiquei esperando lá.
In 2001.
E peguei porque o cara me avisou.
Você que avisou todo mundo que tava vindo. Eu comecei a falar, eu vi.
But you spoke Portuguese at home, I take it?
Yes, that is correct. Oh yeah, still very good. It's a good language to have. And I think their Portugal, like the Portuguese of Portugal, absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
All right, we'll need to.
Esse aqui que você queria fazer.
fly with Brazilian Air Force is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them, and we're trying to capitalize on that. And again, anytime we can get aviators together and train with each other, exchange ideas, we're all very similar in what we do, but it is kind of a fun and a special opportunity to have that exchange between our Navy and your Air Force.
Of course, we have more exercises besides this one with the Force.
Well, I think as you know, Unitas has been going on since 1960, and this is the 56th iteration of the exercise. And the United States considers the exercise to be really one of the many exercises that we do here with Brazil and also with the other countries in South America. But it's not the only one. There are several other exercises that we do every year with lots of different partners here. And we really value the opportunity to come here and work together, improve our interoperability. And again, I think as the CAG, Carrier Air Wing Commander, said, it's a great opportunity to get sailors and airmen together because we do operate in similar environments and we can both learn from each other.
Okay.
So this is just one of the many exercises, and we'll definitely continue to operate in this area with all of our partners down here.
A minha pergunta é assim, primeiro que não seria nem uma pergunta, mas um pedido para uma mensagem da Lisa. First, we're very impressed here about the professionalism and skills of the crew inside the ship. Thank you for was here. E eu queria pedir para ela que ela deixasse uma mensagem para quem vai estar assistindo isso no Brasil, os jovens que desejam ingressar na carreira militar, não importa se nas Forças Armadas Brasileiras ou na Marinha dos Estados Unidos, e como ela se vê, qual a importância que ela atribui para o fato de você ter uma mulher almirante no comando de uma força-tarefa dessa. Isso para mim é fantástico. Parabéns.
Two questions. One, he's asking if you could leave a message for the people back home, Brazil and America, that will be watching this video about the benefits of joining the military and why they should and should not join the military. And how do you feel about being a female in that authority position?
Okay. Well, my message to anyone that's thinking about joining the military is that for me, in my experience, I've been in the Navy for 30 years, and it has been a great opportunity for me to represent my country, defend freedom wherever we go, and also have the opportunity to visit fabulous countries like Brazil and basically get to work with other sailors at sea. I've never had a boring day in my entire Navy career, and I think if people are looking to support their country and looking for a way to better themselves, learn a new skill, and be able to work together with other countries, I think it's the right place for you. As for me, as I said, I've been in the Navy 30 years. I've been a surface warfare officer for my whole career, and so I feel like I had the same experiences as my male counterparts as I've been through the Navy, serving first as a young officer, a division officer, a department head, an executive officer, and I feel like becoming a strike group commander was really a great honor, and I've had so many great people to work with over the years that really helped me get to where I'm going to be. So my job now is to provide guidance to our warfare commanders and support them in executing their missions. So for me, this is just another great opportunity that the Navy's provided me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Uma última pergunta para o capitão. Se ele poderia exemplificar de tipo de exercícios foram feitos entre a US Navy e a Força Aérea Brasileira. Vocês fizeram pacotes de patrulha juntos, F-5, F-18, se houve algum exercício de ataque ao Task Group. Queria que ele especificasse um pouquinho como é que foi o exercício. Porque interoperabilidade, operamos juntos, tudo bem, tudo legal, mas que tipo de exercício foi feito? Se ele poderia explicar para a gente rapidamente só os tipos de exercícios que foram realizados entre a Força Aérea Brasileira e o Carrier Wing.
Sir, he'd like you to elaborate on the exercise between U.S. F-18 and F-5s. You guys actually did the bombing exercises or just flying together, see how they operate, or actually landing missions and stuff like that. Why don't you elaborate on that exactly?
Okay, so over the time that we're doing the exercise, we will fly over 100 events with the Brazilian Air Force, and the events will range from within visual range, so more basic fighter maneuvers, and we'll also do beyond visual range intercepts. Some of those are our aircraft versus Brazilian Air Force, and then some of them we are on the same side executing missions together. And those are planned out. They're simultaneous, some throughout the day. And then the largest engagements will be 4v4s. And for us, we are flying F-18s, both Hornets and Super Hornets, E-18 Growlers, and our E-2Cs are also flying in those events with your F-5s, AMX aircraft as well. We start early in the morning, and then we go throughout late afternoon. And we have 2 LNOs, liaison officers, that are ashore in Brazil working with your Air Force, as well as we have your LNOs on board with us. So real time we're coordinating briefs and debriefs over the phone, and then trying to pull lessons learned out of it. And then at the end of the exercise, when we pull into port, Brazilian Air Force pilots are going to come aboard, and we'll do face-to-face debriefs, and then we'll have lunch and do a tour of the ship. So it's a very good exchange of information. I think the events have been very worthwhile to date. We've lost a few to weather, but otherwise it's been very easy to do.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
One more?
Okay, we actually have time for one more question, and then we have to proceed with the safety brief.
Mais alguém, gente?
Mais uma pergunta.
Okay, is that all? Yes, those are all the questions. I understand.
Yeah, we can step in there.
Sure.
I can answer his
Thank
question.
you so much. All right. See you on the other side. Good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right. Y'all have a good flight.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Obrigada. Thank you.
Obrigado. The food is very delicious. Thank you.
Not much of an option here unless they have an extra room.
Bom, pessoal, estamos chegando ao final da missão CVN-73 George Washington. Estamos nos preparando agora para embarcar na aeronave que vai nos levar de volta para a base aérea do Galeão, no Rio de Janeiro. Nós estamos agora... Ok. Nós estamos agora no través do litoral do Rio Grande do Sul, com Santa Catarina. Vamos fazer um voo de 2 horas para voltar para o Rio de Janeiro. Vamos lá, hein?